Absolute Legends, you know, they've played 2 games already tonight, so they're nicely warmed up for this one. Only the 1 game, actually, for Western Wolves, because they already played their first round game, which they beat SK in, nonetheless, earlier and prior to this tournament. So they're, I guess you could say, a little bit cooler in terms of warm-up. Money down, it'd be with Absolute Legends at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm with you on that one. So let's see what Western Wolves can do. Are they going to go for an invade? It's looking like they are. They're tracking it in there, and Maokai will spot them because he's just put that sapling in. They wisely backed away as soon as they heard it swinging in. Makes that telltale whee! And it comes in there. And as people wisely pointed out in chat, that Misfortune skin is win. She's gone with the
30 seconds
I can't remember the actual name of it. It's basically like the 19th. Yeah, the gangster style like Twitch has got, which is an awesome skin itself as well. So, and bearing in mind, this is live, so these are their actual skins. They've paid real monies for these skins.
And Rise is dancing.
I just got onto Rise. I don't know why I'm up there as well. The exact time you said it, watching Angus strutting his stuff up top lane. So as expected, Maokai will be starting on the Wraiths. Don't look like there's going to be any invade between the two. I expect Slepper and Prepared Yep to go back down towards the Golems. Doesn't look like Western Wolves are going to get anywhere near them yet, and it's going to be a very standard start.
Yeah, and speaking of dances, it's a sad thing that Rammus has not been in these games because his dance was buffed, I guess we can call it. He got his dance fix, which everyone knows is the most important thing when it comes to those patches. Anyway, we're seeing Absolute Legends taking away those 2 golems from the start. Skarner already done his wolves, going to be moving next over onto that blue buff.
Wow. What's going on with the lanes? We've got Cassiopeia up the top, we've got Graves in the mid, and we've got Kennen and the Cow down the bottom. I know it was going to be an AD Kennen, but we've got Graves in the mid, so Yamamoto Cannon going in the mid against Galio. I wasn't expecting this one with Rise and Anguish Rise versus Cassiopeia at the top. It makes no sense because the blue's nowhere near them, which is what it's all about. Although Cassiopeia can technically get away with not having blue early on, can spam a little bit, but this is definitely changing up a bit, Joe.
Yeah, and the fact that, you know, Rise on that blue team can get to his blue a lot easier than Cassiopeia definitely can from that top lane on her side. Obviously, it's over the other side of the map. We don't need to be a genius to figure out why that is. And Yamato Cannon. I'm going to call him at least 100 times Yamamoto Cannon for no reason.
You're giving us free sponsorship, that's about all.
Yeah, that's it, basically. You know, he's going to have, I think early game, he's going to have to really lay down the law onto Galio, because as Galio gets stronger, it's not going to be an easy lane for him to have there, and it obviously all depends on these ganks that are going to be coming in later. But bottom lane is Misfortune and Janna against Kennen and Alistair. As we see, Skarner is moving his way up towards top. Ping goes down, but that was a Western Wolves ping, so Anguish doesn't know that he's actually there, and we are going to see him move in here. He is double buffed as well, and is he going to get in there onto Anguish in time? No, that was pretty much nothing that happened with all that one, and that'll just annoy Solo Gamer that he's come out of his jungle pattern to get in and amongst that.
Yeah, very ballsy play from Angus as well. Had his rune prison, didn't bother using it. Just like, I'm getting away with you, no problem. Just going to stroll off. So, had no issues at all. Okay, so we've just seen Mick Stints go back. He has got a little bit of armor, but remember he mainly built up his magic resist, which is not going to help him too much against Yamamoto Cannon. Although we do have Maokai getting ready to maybe have a look in here. Yamamoto has pushed up quite up the lane. Remember, he has got his dash. He can launch his way backwards. Just catching a glimpse down the bottom. Here we go. He's diving in towards the mid. And he has managed to catch on to him. Will it be enough, though? He's going to try and get away. He's surely going to go down. There's absolutely no question about that. It will be Maokai picking up the first blood. And very wisely done there. They kind of pinned him very well there. Was kind of expecting to dash out of that a little bit earlier than he did. But instead, I think whether he just happened to have used it and couldn't get out of the way. I don't know.
He dashed forward, and that's exactly where Maokai actually flashed in as well in towards that fight. But really nicely done, and real patient play to wait for that dash to be used, the quick draw on Graves, and you know, once you've used that, it's not going to be very easy for you. I mean, he didn't even have time to flash away. That's how quick the damage came in onto him.
Yeah, so at the top, you can see that Tabs is going to keep pushing the pressure on Angus. Will get the poison dot on him and trying to get the fangs on. Will he better get the fangs? No, he won't, but he's going to force Angus back a little bit. That poison will continue ticking down. Yeah, and he's going to be a real pain. It's actually quite a horrible lane against him, because obviously the range difference between Cassiopeia and Rise, he can easily land the poison before land the poison and the fangs. The E can land it onto Angus before Rise can really deal as much damage back. So the counters quite heavy in amongst between those two. Certainly from my experience, I guess some top Rise players may say differently, but certainly the spell ranges are very much in favour of Cassiopeia at the top there. Galio has just taken away the Wraiths there, I think, in the jungle. I think I just saw him coming back from that way. So he's going to continue farming away. It's going to be very hard for Graves to actually stop Galio farming here, because he's one of those he should just farm away from range or even put the pressure on it, especially when you 1-0 up in the kills as well. Maokai has gone down the bottom, Joe, looking like he's going to go for a gank here. Oh, he's going to walk into a ward.
They're still fairly pushed up though here. I mean, they've got that escape. Actually, Flash going to be used there in amongst everything for Kerp. He wasn't sure how that was all going to end up. We do see the sapling, or just a present as he is, since he's using that Christmas skin, which is completely awesome. Just to go a bit off topic onto that one. But, you know, not the most successful gank in the world. It did burn that Flash away, though, from Kennen. So that's one thing. And when he comes back next time, he's not going to have that to use. However, there is that ward in the top bush, which is why I wonder why they were so heavily pushed up there to force that use of the flash from Kennen. Because they, prior to him actually coming in, they actually pinged him. They saw him that he was there before that.
We've also got Tabs looking towards Angus there, warding up the river. Angus is going to be aware of that, and they double ward it. Skarner's also taking a peek in there, gets spotted out and through 2 wards. So heavily warded rivers this time around the top there, which is obviously something we didn't have with COG. They were kind of having ward fights, as it were. So Solo Gamer is going to continue to try and get in there. They know that the blue is up. And remember, Maokai does have that Oracle on, so he's going to be very, very cautious, which is why he's backed away. Okay, Tabs has gone back to top. They're probably going to give the blue buff to Maokai, to Rise this time, not to Maokai, as Maokai actually clears out that Oracle, and that will be blue buff going to them. Looking back down the bottom, Prepared's just been caught out by Lorden there. Had got the headbutt and the pulverize on him, but is wisely put the Howling Gale across both Lorden and Kerp there, and will back away. Graves placing the ward in river and going about his business against Extinct. CS-wise, let's have a look towards the 2, and you can see Cassiopeia with that advantage at the top, 20 CS, roughly, actually it's about 15 now. In the middle there, in fact down the bottom, I'm just seeing Kerp continuing to push. Let's have a look down there. It is very even between these two at the moment, 59 to 52. In the middle, actually, Galio with quite a big advantage. Remember, Graves was taken down early, though. He's the only death of the game. And we're seeing a dragon pulled out here. And that's actually quite a good idea. Galio has just gone back, actually, which is why they've, I think, gone for it. And kind of Graves needs to get his ass moving, though, to get down and help. The slow going down there. And that is going to keep them at bay. Galio is not going to get back in time. And that is going to be Western Wolves picking up the first dragon.
Yeah, and completely uncontested one at that. Actually, Solo Gamer had to just back off a little bit, actually, to get that fixed. Why have I got an echo now? Where did that come from? What the hell? It just randomly appeared. But now it's gone again. Weird. But yeah, a completely free one actually going out there for Western Wolves. And, you know, Graves was slow to get there, but it didn't really matter at the end of things. Let's have a look at the CS from the early stage that we've got now. Everyone's gone back and it's a little bit quieter. Up at the top, Rise versus what was Rise versus Cassiopeia. 62-67, very even stuff there. And we have down at the bottom Misfortune 66 to the 60 of Kennen. What was then the middle lane, which of course was Graves versus Galio, was in favour of Galio. That's not really that much of a surprise. He is a super strong farmer when he gets things going. Actually, Sleeper could be in a little bit of trouble here. Kennen's going to go in there. Is he going to continue through? Ulti from Misfortune. Going to knock him down fairly low, as we are seeing them push in the top as well. And I just managed to catch that right at the end of things. But that brings us to 1-1.
Yeah, very close stuff, and this is when it starts to happen across the map. They start ganking across, and well, Graves obviously needing that kill. So the Graves are switched up now with Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia has gone in towards the mid to try and counter off Galio's mad farming spree, because he's up to 91. Graves is now at 73, so he's picked up a big chunk already at the top there, and now taking away that blue from Rise, which obviously he'd picked up earlier. So not ideal that the fact that it's gone to Graves, but it doesn't matter because it's taken away from Rise, who kind of needs it more than anyone. He's just going to try and blow those abilities off to build up that tier, which he's got on him at the moment. Kurt just coming around, he's going to put the ward in the tri-bush. Cassiopeia in the middle has gone actually Mercury Tread, so that's obviously to counter against Galio, and you can see immediately he's starting to put a bit more pressure onto Extinct than certainly had from Graves there, although missing the E and the Q there. I'm going to back away. I can never remember the damn name of those two, but I know what they are. Noxious Blast, that's the one, and Miasma. So Maokai, again, having a look down the bottom there, has cleared out the ward in the tri-bush, so continuing to clear them wards out. Meanwhile, Skarner has not got oracles. Yeah, no oracles on Western Wolves at the moment.
No oracles. Ooh, prepared actually. Just face checking through into that other side of the bush. He's not too worried though. Sticks his shield on fairly late into that one. We are going to see solo gaming coming. Actually, Clairvoyance was just used as well by Prepared in towards the blue area. And we are going to see ulti coming in from Kennen. Here we go. Pulled back is Prepared. And he is going to be a very, very dead man. There we go. Slipper has to back away from that one. He tried to put as much damage in as he could. But against 3, that's not really going to be working out for him. Tabs, in the meantime, is even pressuring Maokai, who does now have his oracles up. But Tab doesn't want to let him take this ward away.
He does not, and he kind of caught him in when the fight was all sort of going off down the bottom there, and he will finally take that ward away, continuing to poison him up here. Slepper, well, he's been stunned on the turret again there, so Kurt pressuring down the bottom there. So Kennen at the moment, 92 CS to 91, still very close between these two, and I'm always intrigued by the AD Kennen because it's becoming more and more commonplace, and yet still so many top AD players are like, no, he's really bad, this is wrong. Well, I don't understand why they're playing it, and yet it works every time, so you kind of expect it to. So it's always very, very strange how the difference between even the pro players. I mean, we obviously get called up on it many times. Solo gamer, oh, he's just been dived on there. Galio ulti going off. Remember, he's got the oracle, so this is really the one to get on this one. Will it be enough? Oh, it's going to follow him in. No, it won't quite be enough to follow through. The sapling chasing in there, but Solo gamer manages to survive there. It was all about trying to get that oracle, and that's why they dived for it so heavily. They really wanted to get that oracles burnt out there because they hadn't got one of their own just yet, but they have got one of their own, sorry, but they'd only just bought the Oracle Western Wolves, but a vital kill that would have been. Unfortunately, it didn't quite pay off, but Tabs again. Tabs is now struggling against Extinct in the mid here, so it seems to be Extinct spams LOL in front of the tower. So blue buff now going to Rise, and we resort to being very even between these two teams. 16.7k to 16.8k, Joe.
Yeah, real close stuff. We are going to see that blue, as you said, go over to Rise. Blue is up as well over on the other side, and Cassiopeia surely needs that at the moment. I mean, sorry, not Rise. Galio is causing a few problems for inside that middle area as well. They will just ping as they spotted Alistair putting that ward inside the tri-bush. Up at top, Graves did go back briefly here in amongst everything. Got himself Wriggles, the Merc Treads, plus a Vampiric Scepter as well set up, and then here we go. Tabs is going to be taking himself that blue buff, which will give him a little bit extra in that mid lane against a Galio who's already farmed up to 130 CS compared to the 100 of Cassiopeia, compared to the 120 of Graves, who's having a better time of it now that he's switched up top. That was a great decision from Western Wolves.
Yeah, we're just keeping an eye on Maokai and Skarner down here. They're obviously setting up for the dragon that's due. And that's a ward from Maokai, stuck in the back pit. Now gets spotted out straight away by Solo Gamer as soon as he goes in there. Except he didn't go in there. Well, he's going to possibly try to dive on. You can see Western Wolves are all setting up for this one. In fact, all 10 players now converging on the bottom there. Rise is a little bit far behind though. Will he be quick enough to get in here before they manage to pull it out? And they are going to pull it out. Remember, Galio has that flash ulti up. So could easily flash ulti and catch the whole team. Oh wow, Misfortune ulti blown pretty early on there to try and drive down their hit points. And they're going to peel off from this one. Who will manage to get the final hit in there? It has been reset, so nobody for now. That's giving time for Rise to get back in here. Well, Absolute Legends still pretty much split out here. Oh, and Angus had to burn out his flash there. Nearly got caught out by Kerp, and that's immediately going to drive Western Wolves back into there. They put the ward down for better coverage this time, but that's going to get cleared out by Maokai. They're going to find 2 as well, so that's going to be 50 gold. He'd be happy with that at least. In goes Maokai. Can he get in there? Can he smite it? Will it be enough? Oh, and actually, with all these men caught out by the Kennen ulti diving in there, and that will be a big win there for Absolute Legends. Managed to catch out 1, 2, 3. Wait, Lord is on absolutely nothing. Can he make a caught down? 36 health. Meanwhile, they're diving on towards Yamato Cannon. Yamato Cannon also having to flash his way out of there. Kerp suddenly realizing this is going very, very badly and has to zip away. Wow, that was a nearly, well, it was a 2 for 0, and should technically been about 4 for 0 because Absolute Legends had absolute control in that fight. I'm amazed they didn't manage to pick up too many kills, some more kills in there. How Skarner walked away with like 30 health at most is beyond me.
Yeah, and it looked so good for Absolute Legends. I thought they were going to be taking at least 4. That Galio ulti did so much damage to them. However, all credit where it's due to Western Wolves managing to survive for as long as they did and with as much as they did. You know, losing the 2 kills is not the end of the world. Obviously, Dragon did follow with that one, which is not very ideal either. As you see, Angus getting himself back into this top lane. Yamato Cannon is low, with his HP low, with his mana. Can't really afford to be sticking around there. Let's have a look at the kills and how they all panned out so far. Misfortune 1-0-1. Compared to 0-0-1 of Kennen down bottom. And that allows her to have already the crit cloak plus a BF sword and the Berserker Greaves finish, whereas Kennen has went for Wriggles first of all, plus those Berserker Greaves and a couple of Doran's blades. In the middle, obviously Cassiopeia, she's built Giant's Belt. Also got the tome there for that little bit extra. Gonna be moving up to the Crystal Scepter, most likely. And that quiet period setting in now just after a Dragon. A lot of the players going back to buy up their next items. And they need to be careful here. Yeah, Lord's just spotted the ward that was dropped into that bush. So that'll allow Absolute Legends a little bit more vision, probably a little bit more comfort down in that bottom lane. They still need to be careful. Kerp's doing so much harassment onto Slepper constantly. Actually, will land the stun. They're going to dive in here onto Slepper. The turret is firing away. Ulti comes out from Janna, which knocked them back far enough. But are they going to chase this one?
Top
it doesn't look like it. We are going to see the push onto top as well. Yamato Cannon is surely going to go down to this one. He's running back in towards his base, and they've stopped. They've decided not to push in further for them. And down bottom now, ulti going off from Misfortune prepared. Surely is a dead man. Yes, as Skarner came in there, they managed to pull that one off. And this turret, if Solo Gamer gets out of it and stops tanking it, is going to go down fairly easily for them as well. And Angus surely will take the top turret as well for Absolute Legends.
Yeah, so happening all across the map, just as we like to see it. You see them Wraiths, or rather the main Wraith being taken away there. And Tabs needs to be careful, because he's possibly could get dived here. I don't think really have the mana yet. More just forcing him away. And you know what? They could take this turret away from them. Yeah, and he's going to have to give up on it. Hasn't really got the mana to deal with it. And again,
throws the poison down, but he can't follow up.
And more slash laughing from Extinct there. So continuing to laugh on Galio. Angus is going to take away that blue buff. So how is it laying out really between the teams? We've got Cassiopeia and Rise, both around even with their CS, 140 region. We've got the mid, though, is a huge advantage because Galio 178 CS and Graves 144. So he's behind, but he's not out of touching distance at the moment. Down the bottom, it is 155 pretty much between the two. Oh no, Solo Gamers just get completely caught out. That's going to be a very, very dead Skarner. I don't think he's going to be able to get away from that one. Has he got the Oracle on him as well? I believe he did, and that is a bad loss for Western Wolves there, and that's immediately going to get followed up and countered by a blue buff stolen away from them. And they will just walk away from that one like nothing ever happened. It was a full-on hit-and-run moment, and wow, just completely caught out in his own bushes, and it should have been expected because they've just lost that tower in the mid. You've got to expect that there's going to be at least 2 people in and around your blue area. And wow, this is just starting to slowly turn for Absolute Legends here. But the difference being that Western Wolves have got a double AD lane, so they could potentially, if they get the opportunity when they turn and maybe win a big team fight, to really hammer down those turrets with the Kennen and Graves. But at the moment, it's just not working out that way, Joe.
It's not working out that way from him. I mean, Kennen 0-0-2 is, what, just behind on the CS. It is very, very even down there. Only 5 or so the difference at this point. The real problem is that Galio is almost up to 200, and there's not really anyone near him, to be honest. 60 behind for Cassiopeia, 50 behind there or thereabouts for Graves. And Cassiopeia knows has to stay and be farming as much as possible for this one, because Galio, what's he got built already? Kindle Gem done, he's got the Chalice done, Philosopher's Stone, Negatron Cloak is there as well. So, you know, with that magic resist coming in, making it even harder for Tabs to try and bully him out of that lane. And it doesn't really help when Kerp's coming in here and stealing all that CS, but they are going to be looking to take down this middle turret. I'm not sure they're going to manage it there, as we will see the shield come down, and actually ulti pop there for Maokai, just to make sure everything is pretty safe in and amongst everything. But Dragon should be due in a not too distant future. But look at this, there's 4 of them going up. Are they going to actually go for, are they going to start Baron here? Yes, they are. They're starting Baron 21 minutes into the game. Oh, is it going to be just a bait, or are they going to stick around? Nope, they're going to try and bait them out, and there goes a Clairvoyance right on top of the whole Absolute Legends team. So Western Wolves know that they're not starting off with that Baron. Will we see a fight coming out? Angush holding off in that bush. He can be seen. Kerp is there. Actually will manage to get the Prism down onto Kerp, and that will mean that Western Wolves can't afford to really fight in this one. Lord will actually have to headbutt them away from that one, almost getting himself caught out. But Absolute Legends, they're looking for blood here. They want to have a turret or some kills. And bullying Western Wolves into sticking a little bit back. Xync not wanting to tank that turret, but they are surely going to take it down. Misfortune, the one that's just hammering away constantly on that one. They should get it down to around about a 3rd HP yet before they have to actually back away from that one. But they can continue to push this one. Their next wave of minions is coming just above the mid section of the map. So once that gets there, considering they took it down already below half, they should be able to finish it with this next one. And that may mean that Western Wolves decide to take some kind of engage. No, we are going to see them back away and go for that Dragon. Good decision, in my opinion. That turret is already pretty weak.
Yeah, very good decision, like you say. Yeah, may as well take a free Dragon while they can get it. Still easily a team fight winnable between either teams, but you just got to feel Absolute Legends. Despite the fact it's only 4-3, they have that big gold advantage. And they really are driving home every advantage they get, which is kind of sometimes the difference between the very top teams and the almosts. As it is at the moment, Western Wolves, they need to prove themselves, certainly here in a Go4LoL monthly final. Put themselves on the map. They're obviously a known team, but it's a fairly new team, a fairly new lineup. You have to prove yourself. And again, the same could be said for Absolute Legends, but there's simply a name change for them. They do have their Maluno, who's honestly has played brilliantly in the jungle, despite the fact he's not the normal jungler for them. So he is playing a fantastic game as well. Up towards the top, where you can see that Rise is now sort of getting towards primary build. Has that Catalyst in there, has the Frozen Heart completed, has the Tear of the Goddess, looking probably towards Banshee's Veil next, which is that Catalyst in there already. Yamoto Cannon, I'm just not sure about this, you know, going the double AD, having that AD in the mid there, I'm not too sure how that one's worked out. And yes, it was basically the original LoL was the same. Oh wow, Angush actually catching out Lorden there, didn't go for it though. The rest of the team could have easily closed in and around him. And instead he backs away from it, and again they're just clearing out the Baron pit and taking away their vision. If you look across their vision, F2, you can see they have no idea of that river, and that's where they really need to get in there. You can see that immediately Lorden actually using the pulverize on that bush there, trying to, because he's just so scared, he has no vision of what's actually happening. They have no idea. They could be taking Baron. They see them across the map, and they're just like, well, we're going to have to force something here, which is why they're going for this mid turret, which I think they will get. Just got to keep our eye out on that Galio flash ulti, though, when they finally group around. At the moment, you can see Anguish is miles away. He's up the top, which is why Western Wolves are sort of using their prowess to try and push the advantage. Now Extinct is going looking for it. He wants to land that ulti. He knows that Anguish is in time. Oh, and a great headbutt from Lorden, but it's going to be Lorden's death coming from it, but will it be enough? Now we've got Malco flashing, diving in there, and that is going to surely drive them towards Baron. They're going to try and force this fight now. They want to force the issue. They can easily afford to peel off should they need it. They've got no pulverize to interrupt them as they go in there. No support role. They do, of course, still have the Kennen ulti, though, and the Cassiopeia ulti. Oh, and that's a flash from Angus, actually. Going straight in there, catching on towards Tabs. Will Galio polish off? Galio is actually caught a long way away, so this is their small advantage. Now Galio's there. Will manage to catch them out. Hasn't still planted yet. Has plenty of time to. Doesn't need to, because it looks like Western Wolves have been caught out all the way across the map, but they've all managed to escape. Kennen has been caught out down the bottom here. Finally slowed down, uses the stun on Slepper, and tries his best to escape it. Will actually try and land the stun again. Clairvoyance used to say, no, you little bugger, you're not going to escape me. And they all actually used up by Slepper there. Cooper continues to try and dash away. The slow comes in, and that's finally going to be the kill. And that will be a Baron as well. Don't forget, Lorden's now. Oh, Lorden's walking in there. He's got the Clairvoyance down. He's got nothing to steal away from it. What is he doing? You've got no smite. What are you thinking, man? He's got no chance of going in there and getting the kill. If he gets in and pulverizes it, it'd be like the best move in LoL in the history of all things in LoL. And now he's going to go down very quickly, as expected. Oh, there's the flash ulti, and that is surely going to be GG. Absolute Legend's going to take this one away. It's going to be a quick turnaround, I think, from here. And that is the full snowball effect. Tabs is going to get caught out. That will be Tabs exploded. And wow, just a big, long, sprawled out level of play from Absolute Legends, but it's been enough to continually win it. Oh, Extinct! Oh my word! The Baron just called aggro. I think Maluna had to just dive in on him to try and get aggro out of it. I think they've realised they haven't got enough, because Kennen could come back and ulti on them.
Yeah, a little bit of a scary situation. Solo Gamer is going to be getting himself caught out here as well. They can't afford to be getting caught like this whatsoever. Kirp is now moving in, and I tell you what, Anguish will probably fancy his chances. Yeah, he's scared Kennen away, at least for now, and that will allow Absolute Legends to go back, and it leaves Rise with 6-1-1, and he goes home and says, thank you very much. That's a nice shopping spree for me coming back, moving into the next part of this game. Maokai also 2-0-7, got the Shirelias built up, got Warden's Mail built up in there. And obviously, they can really concentrate on this attack damage that's coming in onto them now. I mean, Cassiopeia 0-2-0, got Riley's built up, but not really in such a strong position. And look at this Extinct getting in there. You can see how much damage he's doing with that Abyssal Scepter onto Lorden. And you can see Absolute Legends now moving over in towards that Baron area once again. They're going to clear out whatever wards are there. Tower going down at the bottom. Slepper will say thank you very much for the gold and for that extra farm that he's getting in there as well. But if they were to push towards Baron now, it would be a 5-on-4 fight. So Absolute Legends need to be careful about that. But Western Wolves, they don't look like they're fancying themselves to be going that way whatsoever. Clairvoyance has gone down, so they know that they're going to be in on that red buff. Will they start Baron? Yes, they've started Baron. So down to around about half HP. Wards are in there so they can be seen coming from that right-hand side. There's two of them up in the top lane, and that will mean that Absolute Legends have pretty much no fear of sticking around and claiming this Baron for themselves. And that will leave them 10-4, almost 10k gold in the advantage. And now Western Wolves come in. A little bit too late, guys, from that one. But really great stuff. And again, that Oracle making a massive difference. Great ward coverage you can see here around the top area of that Baron pit. They had vision of any angle that they could possibly come at them from. And Absolute Legends, if they weren't already favourites in this game, are looking so strong to take match number 1.
Yeah, and you just look at the difference between them. I mean, Rise is like fully built up. He's a happy Riser right now. And this is why I was a little confused by the Graves double AD pick, because you've got Rise in there, who inherently will be tanky because he builds that Frozen Heart, he gets the mana up, he builds the big items, you know, builds himself tanky mage as it were. You've got a Galio in there who is inherently going to be fairly tanky. Now he's built an Aegis up, it's like, yeah, well, GG, because I've got armor and aura to go to everyone, and now he's doing his slash laugh again. You've got triple Shirelias now stacked up as well, and Maokai just sort of went, oh, okay, I'll just build myself tanky. He's got Randy Omen in now, so really, this whole double AD thing is just horribly backfired. You've got Kennen with not a great deal of damage in there at the moment. He's got more speed than anything else, and is effectively a stun bot. You've got Graves that's trying his best to do the damage, but he's fell behind as well. So overall, really, it's only ever going to go one way unless there's some catastrophic balls up by absolute legends. It will be Western Wolves that will take this one without question. You know, I don't like to call these games early, but there's just, you just look at the item builds, you look at the way the game's gone, and it's just only going to go one way. The question is how well they're going to do it. This is where they're going to dive on towards the turret. Will it be enough? They don't have a siege minion, but I don't think it's really going to matter. They're going to go in there and start pushing their pace. Lorden's actually been caught out a couple too many times for my liking on that support, Alistair. I know it's good to get in there and get in their faces and headbutt pulverizes, but he's been kind of caught out by it a few times now. Really hasn't been able to build anything from. You can see he's lacking. He hasn't got those Shirelias up there. Skarner's managed to get that built up by now as well. And Cassiopeia, you can see the damage is lacking as well. Has had to go Rylas, had to go tankier as much as he could with the hit points because he was struggling against Galio, and consequently hasn't been able to get any needlessly large rods, any big AP items in there, and he's only 191 ability power as well. Here we go, they're slowly but surely building it up. And what's Extinct doing?
He's lagging, I think.
Oh my word, that's horrible. That's not good. And he's going to go to a turret. That's bad. Oh, no. Well, and fair play to Western Wolves. They stopped, they questioned it, and they didn't do anything. So, you know, good sportsmanship from them there. And they didn't take advantage. They didn't dive on it. They could easily have done that. They were losing the game. And, you know, they could have took a massive advantage there. They look huge douchebags to everyone watching. And, you know, good sportsmanship from them. They well spotted it.
Yeah, and I saw it just before that one, actually. He tried to shield up, and it was like half a year too late for it, which already thought, okay, that's not right. And then he's managed to lag himself out of the game. Hopefully now, for Absolute Legends, this doesn't, you know, affect them all that much, because on paper, with that Baron buff, with the lead that they've got here, it's about 11k or so at this point. It surely would have been game anyway, and I hope for their sake that it really doesn't make too much of a difference. Galio now spawning in. Is he back? I've not seen a disconnect message.
No, I've not either, but it could be delayed. A delayed disconnect. It's either that or his computer could have died. Who knows? Anything could have happened. Maybe he's just fell off his chair. And
his mum told him to go to bed.
Get off the internet! Anything could happen, I'm sure. But we are ones to speculate. We've already had people not going to events because the mum wouldn't let them.
Not sure what's worse, that the mum wouldn't let him or that they actually told people that.
Yeah. I'm not going to let him live that down. When I see Poe Belter, when he grows up enough to come to these events and I see him, about that mum, eh?
Never good. But Galio is still there. Actually, Lorne just saying, is he reconnecting? Maluna says, talking to him at the moment. Well,
on the phone maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's got to, if he's talking to him, it's either a broadband down or he's talking to him on Tinternet. I'm not too sure which, but it's never great. It's never great, and this is the big issue with internet gaming. He's coming now, so okay, so it must have been his broadband. Broadband went down. I'm guessing a reboot on the router. This is the one problem that plagues online tournaments, and offline ones. I hesitate to say as well. We've had plenty of issues in the past, but yeah, it's the big issue that can occur from non-peered games or non-local servered games. But there's not a great deal we can do about it until Tinternet's become 100% reliable, which is never going to happen.
Never going to happen
with hackers out there, like, you know, people that decide to DDoS poor TSM in their house.
Yeah, lamest form of lame, actually, is that. But yeah, people are asking why no pause. We're on the live realm, and there's no pause on live. So There you go. Can you imagine if there was a pause feature on live, guys? Seriously? Imagine the trolling that would go down if that happened. It wouldn't be pretty sight. But anyway, we've got Banshee's Veil built up on Dancing Rise now. And a couple of people asking to have a look more of his build. Mercury Treads, Banshee's Veil, Will of the Ancient, Tia, Frozen Heart, and the Amp Dome, which is obviously building up a little bit more with. As we do see the ping go down, Galio is still not in the game. So, you know, Absolute Legends, what they're doing now is just farming as much as they can, which is exactly what Western Wolves will be wanting to do right now. Obviously, if you look at Grey's Bloodthirster, gone for Last Whisper in there as well. And to be honest, when you look over at the Absolute Legends builds, he needed to go more armor penetration before he went any more damage than that single BF sword with his Bloodthirster is going to offer him.
Yeah, so we're just waiting to see what is going to happen now. Absolute Legends building up for this. Oh, Angus G just running, striding on in there against 4 members of Western Wolves, and suddenly realised, I think that was a pathfinding, just clicking down there and looking in the shop while he's trotting along. I'm sure we've all done it at one point. There is a big stack down the bottom. There's a lot of chat going on because Kelly is still not in here. He's connecting now, apparently. He gets back in, so he's obviously loading in there. So he's, I'm guessing it's a simple case of his ISP went down or whatever. They could have taken Dragon, actually. Now they are going to take Dragon. Okay, Absolute Legends going down there. So we do have this lull in the finals, which is less than ideal after such an absolute epic semi-finals between CLG and AL. There we go! Woo! And a big credit to Western Wolves for not just driving home the huge advantage that they have in a 4v5 here.
Yeah, really great sportsmanship from Western Wolves. I'm sure there are some teams out there that you wouldn't really see that from. They'd be like, well, whatever, it just happened, so that's what's going to happen. Apparently his PC froze at the moment he pressed flash, which is never good. So it was a PC crash rather than internet problems, it seemed, which is a good sign. I say it's a good sign. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but generally your hardware is going to be more reliable than your internets. Baron, of course, is now here we go. I want to say we are going to see the push in there. Lord gets in the faces, and we are going to see ultis flying left, right, and centre. Misfortune ulti goes across the whole team. Galio ulti is in there as well, and surely this is a whitewash for Absolute Legends. And Tabs is prepared, actually saved Extinct there in amongst everything. Good decision, bad decision. They got the kill anyway onto Tabs, and look how fast they're just nuking down the that Graves as well, and that did not go quite to plan. And it was just a matter of time before Extinct came back in. Ooh, he's nearly died there to that turret, down to I think 20 HP in amongst everything, but of course they've got 20 seconds. They're going to push straight in now and take this down, and they're not even going to need to. The surrender vote will come down from Western Wolves, so you have to give them credit for their sportsmanship at the end of this one. They could have been a bit dickish about it, I can say that because it's 9:30 now, and you know, and push that advantage that they had, but they didn't. And Absolute Legends are going to go 1-0 up.
Yeah, and people are saying, great, there's no pause, but you know, if it's on Tournament Realm, there's pause. As simple as that, and they're given the option to want to play on tournament or on live, and we are playing on live, so there we go. Simple as that. But there was a pretty much a guaranteed victory once they started winning those big team fights. So how are they going to counter it? That is the question. And was it really Rise?
Not double AD.
Was it the double AD? Was it the Galio? Who knows? I guess they're going to have a bit of a debate between it, because it is a best of 3, remember, and Western Wolves will find themselves at 1-0 down already after what was really a pretty good start from them. They started off quite well. They got the gank in mid early on. Not in mid, actually. I lied, up top, sorry. Early on, it wasn't on Galio. Was it Galio? I don't think did he die in there? I don't think he did. Oh, he did. Yes, his one death was because he disconnected. Yeah, from his turret dying. So, yeah, some pretty good play from both teams. But Absolute Legends certainly looking very strong right now.
Yeah, very strong. And we kind of predicted that they're going to be the favourites after that great performance against CLG, which that was a turnaround game for them. They weren't looking all that strong at the start of the game. So all credit to Absolute Legends for the position that they're in right now. They need to win just one more game in this best of 3, and they will take home the Go4LoL EU West December monthly finals. Yeah, that's right, December. We know we're a little bit behind on getting these monthly finals rolled out there. That was because last week I don't know what was wrong.
You
Did
had
I
the
poke
plagues.
myself in the eye last week? No, that was whatever. It didn't work out, so that's why we moved it to here. We're going to take a quick break, though, while we wait for game number 2. I'm sure that Western Wolves will appreciate a few minutes to have a bit of a chat as to what went right and, more importantly, what went wrong for them in that game. So don't go anywhere. It's match 2, Absolute Legends versus Western Wolves, and it's coming up here on ESL TV in just a few minutes.